So we were just talking about that the biggest purveyors of misinformation is the government, and second would be the corporate media. People on YouTube are way, way, way down on the list. So consortium. So this is an amazing story. So they found out they did this. A covert online propaganda operation said to be the world's largest, promoting pro-Western narratives, has been found to be operating primarily out of the United States, targeting Russia, China, and Iran. I was told Russia, China, and Iran are the ones doing that to us.
And also they're targeting us, not just Russia, China, and Iran.
Yeah, right. Our own government is propagandizing us now because Barack Obama signed the law that made that okay. He repealed the Posse Comitatus Act, which made it okay to propagandize people in the United States. I'm pretty sure that's what that did.
The Smith-Mundt modernization. I got so obsessed with it after the story.
Oh, yeah?
Because I think it's such a great, like, you'd never heard of it, the Smith-Mundt Act. And then it's got, how do we modernize it?
What is the Smith-Mundt Act?
It's illegal to propagandize
that's it.
citizens.
So not the Posse Com. I got the wrong. Yeah. I got it wrong.
And then Obama modernized it by saying, yes, you can.
Look up the Posse Comitatus and put in Chris Hedges. He writes about it. So he would tell us what that is. So that's right. I got it mixed up. It's
that really upset me, that thing. John Kierkegaard was telling us.
The Smith-Mundt Act.
Mm-hmm.
So here we go. We believe this activity represents the most extensive case of covert pro-Western information operation on the social media to be reviewed and analyzed by open source researchers to date. Who said that? People from Stanford and an internet research firm called Graphica. I like that name.
Hey, by the way, guys, thanks for getting around and taking a look at that.
Yeah.
It's been going on the whole time.
Been going on forever. The researchers found most of the information operation likely originated in the United States. From there, it ran a massive interconnected web of automated bot accounts on Twitter, Facebook, and other social media platforms. I feel like I've been the victim of some of that.
I took a screenshot when I got it because it almost, at first I was like, because I get that, you changed, your politics used to be good, now you've really lost it. I'm like, my politics weren't good.
No.
And I look up, his name is Kreenst, Creenst, Kreenst Howard, and there's like this auto AI looking generated face. I'm like,
that's what they like to say, man, you've lost it. You changed. I used to like you, but you've changed.
That's a bot. I took a picture and I asked people, does this look like a bot to you?
The accounts heavily criticized Russia, in particular for the deaths of innocent civilians and other atrocities its soldiers committed in pursuit of the Kremlin's imperial ambitions following its invasion of Ukraine in February this year, the report says. So there's a report that everybody's ignored, except people at the Consortium News and now us. This report is all the more surprising because SIO and Graphica have deep connections to the U.S. national security state and to information campaigns against U.S. designated. So these people usually work with the government, and they're the ones exposing this right now. That makes this all the surprising.
Are they trying to compete to get the job and do it better or something?
I don't know why. This is, to me, I don't know why. So SIO's director, Alex Stamos, boy, he's got a handsome brother, for example, is a member of the Council on Foreign Relations, a visiting scholar at the Hoover Institute, and on the advisory board of NATO's Collective Cybersecurity Center of Excellence. He was the chief security officer at Facebook, where he led the company's investigation into alleged Russian manipulation of the 2016 U.S. election. Ironically titled Unheard Voice, evaluating 5 years of pro-Western COVID influence operations, the report has been studiously ignored by almost all in the Western establishment media since its release last month. It's because the Pentagon is doing it. We're doing it. The Pentagon is doing it. The United States CIA and Pentagon are doing this. And of course, the corporate media is funded by the military-industrial complex.
Now, I saw a story about, I think, am I listening to me wrong? The Pentagon, it was like reviewing, like, why are we spending all this money on this? Is that correct?
So it's coming up.
Yeah. Okay.
So go back to, despite the scale and targeting of the propaganda operation, the spectacular revelations have received only scant attention, like this slight mention in the Sydney Morning Herald. A lighthearted column in the Washington Post refers to it as a splashy report, saying some of the covert U.S. accounts had posted cat pictures in order to appear authentic. The column references Russia and Chinese cyber espionage operations in framing its... So when the Washington Post, I'll show you. Part of the reason the report has been effectively buried may be because it was conveniently overshadowed on the very same day of its release by another Stanford Internet Observatory release titled A Front for Influence, an analysis of pro-Kremlin network promoting narratives on COVID-19 and Ukraine. So Stanford released both these reports, and the corporate media only look at this one. They don't look at the other one that tells you that the United States is the world's terrorists doing everything that they claim their enemies are doing.
They might get fired? Come on.
The covert pro-Western fake accounts identified by Twitter and Meta had created fake personas with a generative adversarial network computer-generated faces. So that's all made up. They have AI that does all this. There isn't even a person doing it.
Yeah, I think that doctor guy with the bees and shit,
whatever, it's probably one of those.
Because the same face that I saw on mine, the eyes are too big. And if you do AI art and you put it in, it'll be like offsite. Look at it when you see it. Yeah.
So they can even automate memes, leveraged memes and short form videos, attempted to start hashtag campaigns and launched online. But this is your government doing this.
Wait, are you saying there is no K-Hive? That's a made up thing.
So here's the New York Times. They're saying the two groups attributed some of the accounts taken down by Facebook and Twitter to the Trans-Regional Web Initiative. More than a 10-year-old Pentagon. So Facebook is taking down bots, and the bots are from the Pentagon. You'd think they're working together because they are. So that's why it's weird that this is happening.
Yeah, what is that? This is weird.
So a more than 10-year-old Pentagon initiative that sends out information in support of the United States in areas where the U.S. military operates. Some of the more polished work was aimed at Twitter and Telegram users in Iran and pushed a wide variety of views. While most of the messages were critical of the Iranian government, researchers said others were supportive of it. The kind of activity that could potentially be designed to inflame debate and sow divisions in the country. We're doing exactly what we said Russia did to us.
Yeah.
He's sowing division.
And that's what we've done the entire time I've been alive.
We've been doing this.
Everyone's mad here, and they're about to overthrow the government. Are they? They hate their own government more than us? Really?
The program evoked the propaganda campaigns that authoritarian governments. So they're saying it evoked? You mean the United States is doing the exact thing that authoritarian governments we pointed the finger at do? We're doing the exact thing, and we've always done the exact thing that dictators that we've claimed are horrible do? Yes. But do you see how they fucking word it? Do you see the wording, Jimmy, here?
I like how Sam Harris puts it. When they do it, it's a window into their evil soul.
Yes.
But when we do it, it's like, because
we're good.
Something.
Because we're good people.
Yeah. So it's not that
and we know better.
Yeah.
But disinformation experts say they were not very successful. This program was not very successful.
It worked here.
So most of the posts received only a handful of likes anyway. And only 19% of the accounts that were identified had over even 1,000 followers. So the U.S. military, they're failed clout chasers.
So they realized to stay with the old school media for the propaganda and not get into the memeing, and that's what it is, I bet.
The U.S. military can't even win Twitter wars anymore.
That's amazing.
Over the past 8 years, Facebook has named over a dozen countries that have created Russian-style disinformation efforts, including Iran, Sudan, Nicaragua. What about the United States, New York Times? What about the United States? The company now publishes monthly reports in which it describes new disinformation campaigns it has uprooted. So here it is. Here's the New York Pentagon orders review of its overseas social media campaigns. The move comes after Twitter and Facebook shut down misleading accounts that they determined were sending messages to promote U.S. foreign policy. So again, it's weird. So it's not weird that the Pentagon is doing this. We know they've been doing this. But it's weird that Facebook has been taking down some of their bot accounts.
There's some power play going on where some guy's bright idea is going to be supplanted by another. You know, like when you have Bill Benny and he had his thing, it was a better idea and they pushed him out. I bet it's something inner, you know?
So here's how the New York Times covered this. White House officials told the military that they were concerned about its efforts to spread pro-American messaging on social media. prompting the Pentagon to order a review of secretive operations to influence populations overseas. The review follows a decision by Twitter and Facebook over the summer to shut down misleading accounts that they determined were sending messages. So I guess what happened, I'm guessing that Facebook and Twitter start shutting down Pentagon accounts, and then the Pentagon's like, hey, we got to look into what the fuck we're doing. Is that what happened?
Oh, wait, is it that, you know how, okay, like Twitter, they're like, oh, we'll censor on behalf of you, Saudi Arabian government.
Yeah.
Are other governments messing with their business? And Facebook was like, you know, we got to think internationally, and that's why we have to take this. Is it something like that?
I don't follow what you're saying. What do you mean?
Like, Facebook is in all these countries, right?
Yeah.
And those countries maybe are like, hey, Facebook's out of here if you don't take this down.
Yeah.
Is it like that?
Yeah. I'm sure other countries tell Facebook too.
Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, we know that Israel had been giving direct orders to Facebook on what to take down.
So we have to just hope that the corporations will fight against the government.
Yeah. Most of the campaign spread pro-American messages, including memes and slogans. The programs were similar. Look at how the New York Times puts it. The programs were similar to how Beijing often spreads disinformation by seeding positive messages about life in China.
I'm President Joe Beijing, and I'm spreading.
So, but look how they make it sound. Look, it's
seeding positive. Hey, I went to China, and there were some positive things there. And is that me seeding it? That, you know, like, that's not disinformation. What? Oh,
so we. The point of this is we're doing exactly the same thing that we accused Russia of doing and everybody else of doing. The disinformation effort resembled the methods used by Russia to influence the 2016 U.S. presidential election.
Only is better and more polished.
Yeah. That's classic Putin move there.
Yeah.
To trick the naive U.S. intelligence agencies into copying his propaganda playbook just so we could get banned by Twitter and Facebook.
Wow. First, he messes up the gas lines. Then he ruins our great and necessary clout program.
So I like this. The decision by social media companies to shut down some accounts associated with the military suggests that the activity had gone further. Yeah?
I don't believe
Twitter
that.
and Meta, the parent company of Facebook, removed accounts that they said violated their terms of service by taking part in coordinated, inauthentic behavior.
You mean what? The way that everything...
So here is... New York Times references that Stanford Graphica. A report in August by Stanford University's Internet Observatory and social media analytics firm Graphica said those accounts were pushing pro-American messages in the Middle East and Central Asia. So turns out again, the United States we're the bots, we're the terrorists, we're the misinformers, we're the liars. The United States and our military. Hooray! Virginia Beach, Richmond, Arlington, San Jose, Miami, West Palm Beach. Go to jimmydorcomedy.com for a link for all the tickets and become a premium member while you're there.